I thought the thing was, as I had a cheat day yesterday and I couldn't do a proper leg session because of the weights. That's why I decided I'm going to do some cardio today. Maybe a little bench press, something like that. So, here we go.
We're trying to find ourselves without the defining words. We can no longer hold on to what only makes us hurt. We cannot sink into the dark. The vertigo is getting sharp. There's something greater than ourselves that we must reach for.
Sort of waking up, need to have a shower, and then I'm going to have breakfast in the hotel, which I'm actually quite excited about because it's always good having breakfast in the hotels. Alright everyone, so it's 11:30 and I had more or less a dinner buffet, so you can see not a dinner buffet, a breakfast buffet. It is 11:50, nearly 12 o'clock, and we're heading back home. We're staying here in the Best Western Hotel in Frankfurt, which was really nice. I saw my two nieces, and my half brother, so that was awesome. And yeah, so there's gonna be like a 5-hour trip home. I might film something on the way. I had a massive brunch, so like a extended cheat day, which has to stop now because my way in tomorrow is probably gonna be hardcore. But it doesn't matter, I feel like I'm on track. The workouts are really cool. I can see my body change. I hope you guys can too. Also, you guys said you really like the idea of extending the challenge to 60 or even 90 days. So please give a thumbs up to this video if you really want that. Then I'm going to be thinking about it. And you know, like I said, make sure that we rewrite the plans for everyone. So yeah, if you want that, punch the like button as hard as you can. And yeah, I'm going to get ready for some driving now. So let's do that. So it's nearly 5 o'clock. It's sort of halfway through, no, not halfway, like 70 kilometers left to Berlin. Yeah, do you like my hat? I think we're gonna swap again, so I'm gonna be driving now. And then I'm gonna be uploading a video and finally answering some questions of yours. So stay tuned, guys. Guys. Alright, so we're back home and I thought I'll just answer some questions. So first one comes from Dewald Krüger and he says, well, the first question, he has two. First question is, Mark, can we send you some coffee cups? And I answered that, I think, in my other video already, where I said, guys, I've got a PO box. If you go to my website, www.marcdressen.com, you find the address at the bottom is my PO box. So, you know, just go there. If you want to send me anything, I'm happy to. You do unboxing things. By the way, it's not the address where I live. It's a PO box. Okay. So he wrote a whole comment here. You can see it here. I'm not going to read all of it, but the gist of it is he's saying, Mark, I don't like the way you're working out right now because it seems like you have to count everything, and it seems, you know, it seems very sort of, I would say, robotic. I mean, this is not the word he used, that's the word I use. So when he grew up, he was playing football and rugby and stuff like that, and he did high rep ranges and so on. He felt like he developed much stronger than other people, and he was stronger than other people by doing this kind of workout. And he also says, the last thing in his question is, Mark, well, you know, by doing this kind of workout, you know, if you do the workout you're doing now with pushing weights and so on, you get big and muscular. I'm looking for something more geared towards building a great physique, but also being able to use the muscle I've gained to the maximum potential without obviously weighing me down as a result, slowing me down. When I was 7 to 16 years old, I did a lot of martial arts, so I didn't really go to the gym and was lifting weights. So I totally understand your point, because I was the same. I was like, if I now do squats and stuff, my muscles will become tight, and as a martial artist you need to be able to kick, and you know, you have to have flexibility a lot, and that was something which was counterproductive. So at that time I decided to go against this kind of maximum hypertrophy training. But At that time I wasn't, you know, I wasn't educated in that style of training also. I was just doing what my trainer was telling me. Nowadays we know you can do both. You can do hypertrophy training and you can do martial arts and you can do flexibility. Look at gymnasts, for example, the way they train. They're flexible, powerful, speed. They've got all the biomotor skills developed, I would say, to the perfect extent. But then also, as an athlete, you have to train the way the sport wants you to be able to perform. So if you are a, let's say, soccer player, it doesn't make sense to do bench press, right? You don't need your chest muscle as much as you will need your quads. So squatting is a good idea for a soccer player. But bench press, you know, if he just wants to have, let's say, you know, if he's into aesthetics, but most of the time these soccer players, they couldn't care less about aesthetics. It's more about tactics and stuff like that. So I do get your point. If you are an athlete and sport is the foreground of your sort of goal of what you want to achieve, then you have to make sure that you train the way sport specific is the actual scientific term for it. Sport specific training. You've got something Periodisierung, it's in German, periodization of training. So you break down your year into, if you have competitions, and then you train for competition, after competition, and so on and so forth. If we're talking about, you know, getting into the best shape of your life in terms of aesthetic and looks, and you don't give a shit about what you can do with your body, obviously, you know, hitting the gym is a really good idea. Now everyone's like, Mark, what are you saying? I can deadlift like 10,000 kilos. You mean I can't do anything? No, that's not what I'm saying. But obviously, you're not going to be able to outrun Usain Bolt, right, by doing 10,000 kilo or let's say a 400-pound deadlift. It's just not going to happen. You will need to train sprints. You will need to, you know, obviously face that guy in a competition. I hope this answers your question. Dewald Krüger, next one. Okay, so the next question comes from Mark. Also Mark, but Mark with a K, you know, but the Marks with the CR, you know, they're better, right? Okay, so you're asking, Mark, I got down to 15% body fat now, and he did his own challenge over the summer, which is great, awesome, thumbs up for you, I'm really happy for you. And he said, I would like to start bulking. What should I be doing? He assumes he should be eating more calories. Now, first of all, I would probably not start to bulk with 15% body fat. I would try to go down even more, 10%. Try to hit 10% first and then start your bulk, because what will happen is you will put on fat on the way. You know that, guys. And so if you're 15% body fat and you're sort of okay with gaining more fat, then you can start bulking now. I'm not saying you can't, but you will have a harder time than leaning down again, you know, if that makes sense. So it is the best to lean down first as much as possible, get the fat out of the way, and then you start bulking. And once you hit 15, 16, 17% body fat, then you start cutting again. What do you do in a bulk? Pretty simple. You make sure you increase your calories, something between 300 and 500 calories surplus per day. You can use my calorie calculator, click over here. And if you don't know what kind of workout, click over here. That's my workout planner. That's actually the workout we're doing right now. It's a hypertrophy strength training workout. So you will be able to, you know, gain size and strength at the same time, which is awesome. So this, I think, is one of the best workouts. That's that, really. All right, next question comes from one of my female watchers, which is great, Madeline Yeo. I hope I pronounced your name right. And she says, well, how to train as an explosive, powerful dancer? Madeline, I'm glad you asked this question because it's related to something I discussed before in this video. And it is about how do you train as an athlete, or how do you train as a dancer or a sprinter or a soccer player or a martial artist? You train, you know, you train sport specific. So as a dancer, you make sure that you keep dancing, you keep doing these moves, you keep doing bouncing moves and hopping and hip hop. You know, you do sort of this kind of style of training because that will help you develop better skills in your actual sort of training or sport. So as there's not more to this question, I'm not really sure what your goal is as a dancer, because if you say, how do I train as an explosive, powerful dancer, just, you know, it does it mean you want to get more powerful and more explosive? Then I can give you sort of training tips. Or does it mean, you know, I want to lose weight as a dancer, I want to gain weight as a dancer, I want to be more muscular as a dancer? So this is the question you probably will need to clarify in the description box below as well, and then I can give you a more detailed answer to that. Yeah, I hope that helped you a little bit. The last question or sort of statement comes from Theo. He says, I love deadlifts, but you know, my ankles and my wrists, my ankles, my wrists, my ankles, my feet and stuff hurt while doing these deadlifts. And I said to him, well, you can use wrist straps. If you don't know what that is, let me just show you quickly. You've got various of lift straps you can use. You've got some with a hook, you've got some you then, you know, put around the bar like here. So there are many options of lift straps you can use. Generally speaking, they're great in terms of releasing the stress out of your wrist, obviously, because you don't really have to hold the bar. I can probably lift another 20 kilos on top of my personal best by using wrist straps. So it's a way of, let's say, when you're doing back training and you would do deadlifts at the very end, you know, then you can use those because your underarm grip is just tired from always holding and doing rows and whatever you do in your back routine, and therefore these wrist straps are sort of a good tool to use. You can also use them for T-bar rows, for pull-ups. You can use them basically for any pulling motion. You can even put them around your single arm rows. If you've got sort of a weak underarm or wrist or whatever, you've got an underlying pathology or whatever it is. Generally speaking, I'm not a fan of using them for someone who's healthy and doesn't have any pains and aches. The same thing with these weightlifting belts. If you don't need them, don't take them. You know, the thing is, your body will get used to this kind of support. Therefore, as soon as you then start not using them anymore, you will see you're not able to lift the same amount of weight. You will be discouraged, and it's not a good thing. I just want to share a little experience I had when I was at sports uni. I didn't use wrist straps, but I used ankle wraps. So I wrapped them around my ankle because I was playing badminton. I was cautious of getting an injury. So then every time I was doing gymnastics and so on, I always had these ankle wraps around. And one day I said, okay, let's take them off. Bang, injury. So the thing is, don't use them if you don't need them. If you have an injury and you need to recover, then yes, but then after 6 weeks, take them off and make sure your body gets used to be able to support itself. That's all I wanted to say to all these sort of things you get sold as something you will need to be able to lift properly. Only use them if the doctor says you've got something. If you've got some aches and pains you still want to lift, yes, but not if you are a normal dude and everything is fine and you're like, I just see someone else wear it, so I'm gonna wear it. No, it's not monkey see, monkey do. It's monkey see, monkey question, and then do, right? All right, guys, this is it for today. So if you like this video, punch the like button, punch the subscribe button. See you guys tomorrow. Generally speaking, if you're a tall guy, it's not the height which will determine if you're able to build muscle or not. But what will happen is that you might look different. If you've got long extremities like your arms and legs, for example, I mean, look at my arm. My biceps doesn't look like super bold and tight.